There is a name that Cadillac retired decades ago, not because it failed, because the world moved on and Cadillac moved with it, quietly, carefully, and perhaps a little reluctantly. The Fleetwood wasn't just a model. It was a declaration of intent. It told the world that America understood luxury at the highest level, that refinement and presence and authority could exist in a single machine without borrowing anything from Europe. And then it was gone. But standing here in front of the 2027 Cadillac Fleetwood, I can tell you that the silence is over. Here at Premium Automotive Reviews, we've spent years covering what cars truly mean beneath the marketing language, what they say about the culture that built them and the people who choose them. And this car says something that hasn't been said in a very long time. What makes this particular moment even more layered is a powertrain decision Cadillac made that will immediately reframe how you think about what a Fleetwood is supposed to feel like, and whether the name still means what it once did. Stand back from it first. The proportions demand that. This is a long car, genuinely long, with a hood that stretches forward from the cabin in a way that communicates displacement and authority without a single word of specification. The body is finished in deep British racing green, a color choice that reads as quietly provocative on an American flagship, a signal that Cadillac is no longer positioning this car against domestic tradition, but against the finest grand tourers the world produces. The paint has depth. In direct sunlight, it is almost emerald. In shade, it shifts towards something darker, more serious, almost olive at certain angles. It is not a subtle choice, and it is exactly right. The front fascia is structured around a wide, textured grille framed by the Cadillac crest, centered with precision, flanked by vertical LED lighting elements that slice downward through the front corners with angular confidence. These aren't soft curves. The lighting architecture is geometric, sharp, and deliberate. Diamond cut in philosophy, each element placed to communicate precision engineering rather than decorative styling. A carbon fiber front splitter runs the width of the lower fascia, low to the ground, functional in its angle, and uncompromising in its presence. The hood carries the Cadillac name in clean chrome lettering, not the crest, just the letters, restrained and certain. Walk the length of it. The roofline drops in a long, sweeping fastback arc from the windshield through to the rear, the greenhouse glass running continuous and expansive. The side profile revealing broad sculpted shoulders over the rear haunches that give the car a planted, wide stance authority. Side sill extensions in carbon fiber run flush and low. The door mirrors are compact and body-colored. Every surface transition is resolved with the kind of panel gap consistency that requires genuine manufacturing investment. On 22-inch chrome multi-spoke forged wheels with gold brake calipers visible behind them, this car sits exactly as low as it should. Not slammed, not raised, just correct. The rear is perhaps the most resolved angle. The tail lamps are triangular, geometric, and filled with a fine grid pattern that illuminates in deep red with a complexity that rewards close inspection. Between them, CADILLAC is spelled out in individual chrome letters across the full width of the tail. Below that, a carbon fiber diffuser of serious depth houses quad rectangular exhaust tips positioned symmetrically, separated by carbon fins that channel and manage airflow with structural intent. There is no excess here, just consequence. Open the driver's door. It swings with the weight of something engineered to last, the seal tight and immediate as it closes behind you. The interior is a full departure from what Cadillac has offered before, and it is better than anything this brand has produced in a generation. Cognac tanned full-grain leather covers every seat surface, quilted in diamond pattern with the kind of hand-stitching consistency that indicates either extraordinary craftsmanship or extraordinary care in its execution, likely both. The door panels carry matching leather with contrast piping. The center console is finished in genuine walnut veneer, warm and organic against the cooler tones of the surrounding architecture. Look up. The headliner is a fiber-optic star field. Hundreds of individual points of light embedded in a dark suede ceiling, shifting in perceived depth depending on your viewing angle. At night, this is not a gimmick. It transforms the cabin into something experiential, something that makes you reluctant to arrive at your destination. The ambient lighting around the door, sills, and footwells pulses in a deep emerald that echoes the exterior paint, tying the interior and exterior into a cohesive identity rather than treating them as separate design exercises. The steering wheel is round, leather-wrapped, with a tactile thickness that communicates confidence without aggression. The Cadillac crest sits centered. The instrument cluster curves gently toward the driver, displaying information with clarity and restraint. The central display runs in a wide horizontal band across the dashboard. Curved, integrated, and operating the Super Cruise hands-free driving system, AI-assisted navigation that learns your routing patterns over time and refines its suggestions accordingly, and a connectivity suite that manages over-the-air updates silently in the background so the car's intelligence grows without requiring a dealership visit. The system integrates with your digital life in ways that feel assistive rather than intrusive. Sit quietly for a moment. The cabin isolation is extraordinary. Outside noise disappears. Not reduced, disappeared. The acoustic glass, body sealing, and sound dampening architecture create a silence that feels pressurized, intentional, almost theatrical in its completeness. The scent is leather and wood, and something faintly cool from the ventilated seats. This interior is not a list of features. It is a place. Now the engine, Cadillac's engineering team has internally targeted the 2027 Fleetwood with a twin-turbocharged 4.2-liter V8 producing an estimated 650 horsepower. And this is where the conversation gets interesting. There are those who will argue that a car wearing the Fleetwood name should have been built around a naturally aspirated V8 of larger displacement, something that pulls with the unhurried authority the original nameplate represented. That argument has genuine merit. The twin-turbo configuration delivers its torque in a way that feels modern and linear rather than traditionally American in its character. It is a technically superior powertrain choice. Whether it is the emotionally correct one depends entirely on what you believe the Fleetwood should be in this century. Press the start button. The engine catches with a low, measured exhaust note. Not aggressive at idle, not theatrical, but present and composed. It settles into a smooth, deep pulse that you hear more through the body of the car than through the cabin. At highway pace, the twin turbos operate almost inaudibly inside. The sound management so complete that acceleration feels more like silence, increasing in velocity than noise. Open the throttle on an empty on-ramp, and the tone sharpens. The turbos building pressure with an urgency that builds in layers. First, the mid-range torque arriving with smooth authority, then the top end opening into a genuinely involving exhaust note through those quad outlets. Gear shifts through the 10-speed automatic are imperceptible in comfort mode, firm and rapid in sport. At full acceleration in the sharper setting, each shift arrives with a precision that tightens the driving experience without disturbing the refinement hierarchy. The first drive reveals what the specifications cannot fully communicate. The steering is weighted with a deliberateness that rewards patience. Not artificially heavy, not vague, but settled in a way that makes the car feel planted and predictable over distances. Throttle response below 3,000 RPM is calibrated for refinement first, with power arriving progressively rather than immediately. The magnetic ride control suspension reads the road surface continuously and makes adjustments faster than any human perception threshold, so the car simply flows. Over imperfect pavement, it absorbs without floating. Through gradual corners, it carries its considerable length with a chassis composure that understands balance. The seat holds you without pressure. The brakes, those gold-calipered Brembos, are immediate and communicative, with a pedal feel that gives you genuine confidence in the car's ability to manage its own momentum. This car is genuinely usable every day. The trunk accommodates serious luggage. The rear seat offers genuine space with the kind of legroom that makes long-distance grand touring a different category of experience entirely. On a midnight coastal highway, Pacific Coast Highway northbound with the city lights falling behind, and nothing ahead but open road and distance, this car finds its spiritually correct context. Long, composed, quiet, fast when you ask it to be. An American grand touring statement that competes not with domestic rivals, but with the finest four-door machines that Bentley and Mercedes-Maybach produce at significantly higher price points. Cadillac projects pricing beginning near $120,000 for the Fleetwood. At that figure, what you are actually paying for is not a specification sheet. You are paying for the return of a nameplate that once defined American ambition at its most uncompromising. You are paying for the craftsmanship of that cognac leather interior, for the fiber-optic ceiling, for the carbon aerodynamics, for the engineering discipline that produced this level of dynamic refinement in a car this size. The price feels earned rather than assumed. This is not a luxury sedan pretending to be something more interesting. It is not a sports sedan with luxury characteristics. The 2027 Cadillac Fleetwood is something with no true, direct American competitor. A full-size luxury grand tourer built on the conviction that this country is capable of producing the world's finest automobile when it chooses to take the idea seriously. If this coverage has connected with what you love about cars, subscribe to premium Automotive Reviews for the depth this channel brings to the machines that genuinely matter. And leave your answer in the comments to a question that has two completely legitimate positions. Should the Fleetwood have been built around a large displacement naturally aspirated V8 to honor the emotional character of the original nameplate? Or does the twin-turbo V8 represent exactly the kind of forward-thinking engineering ambition a revived Fleetwood should embody? There is no easy answer. That is precisely why it deserves a real conversation. The 2027 Cadillac Fleetwood is proof that American luxury was never gone. It was simply waiting for someone with enough conviction to bring it back at the level it always deserved.